friends, thanks for joining me for another tutorial in Melinda's Rubber Room. I'm Melinda Pierce and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today to show you how to make this double gate fold. It's a fun fold to make, and it's actually pretty easy to do, so I'm just going to jump right into it. So these are two different designs that I've done. This one is using the Winter Meadow Designer Series paper, which is actually what we're using today as well. So you can see some of the different prints in there. This background one is really pretty. So lots of fun prints, not just for the holidays, but all year round. And it does coordinate with the Winter Meadow stamp set. Or I'm sorry, the Magical Meadow stamp set and dies. So you can see that in the mini catalog that just came out last month, I believe, or it's on my online store as well. This other design, I used the Rocking Horse stamp set and dies, and then I used one of the online exclusive Designer Series papers, and it's really beautiful paper. It has like a foiling to it. So those are some of the designs, and that one is called Shining Christmas. So you can see that on my online store as well. All right, so I am doing all the cutting for this from scratch, so this video might take a little bit longer than usual. So I'm starting with the 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, and you're going to need two pieces that measure 5.5 by 8.5. So I know that this is 8.5 here, so I'm just going to turn this and cut it at 5.5. And then you're going to want to score both of those pieces at 2, 4, 6, and 8. So the light blade scores my cardstock, so that's 2, 4, 6, and 8. And that will just give you a 1/2 inch over here, which is what you want. You're going to do the same thing on the other piece of cardstock. Another piece of, I'm using Pretty Peacock, so I need another piece that measures 5.5 by 4.25. So this is 5.5 and 4.25. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the base of my card. So I'm going to put my Designer Series paper aside for now. And you just want to go ahead and score on all of those, or fold on all of those score lines. This card does get a little bulky, so I'm going to make sure that I go ahead and use my bone folder to just reinforce those folds. And I'm just doing a mountain fold, valley fold, mountain fold. So it's like that, and then this last one is a valley fold as well. Okay, so it looks like that. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other piece. Okay, so now you're going to take your smaller piece that we cut, the 4.25 by 5.5, and all we're going to do is attach these little tab areas with the front of the 4.25 by 5.5. And you're just going to match up that score line from the little tab to the edge of that piece of cardstock. I'm just going to bring in my Stampin' Seal. This is a really nice strong adhesive, so it'll be sure to hold my card down tight on my paper. Okay. I find it's easiest to fold the large piece over on itself, just so I can make sure that that seam or the score line is right along that edge of that paper. I'll go ahead and bring in my bone folder again, just to make sure that's nice and tight on there. And that's going to create one of the sides of my card. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side. so that is the base of my card. And don't worry about this gap there. That is supposed to be there. And I'm going to take a piece of Whisper white cardstock, or basic white cardstock. And I'm just going to stick that right in the center here. And that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. Now, if you're going to do any stamping on this, I would certainly stamp on it before you put it on there. And I think I am actually going to stamp a few flowers on there, so I'm not going to hear that just now. But it's a little bit easier to see what's going on in the card if you do have that white piece in the center. Okay, so now I'm going to cut my designer series paper, and you need 4 pieces that measure 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. So I want the 2 pieces on the front of my card to kind of line up with each other. I'm just trying to see if there's not really a right or wrong way to this paper. So I'm just going to go with that side. So I want this to be 5 1/4. And then I'm going to turn this and cut 1 3/4. And 1 3/4. So these are going to be my 2 outside pieces. So I can see that the berries are going to kind of line up with each other. So when I bring my paper in and it closes, you can see that there's that continuous pattern to the paper. Okay, so I'm going to set those 2 aside and kind of make sure that they don't get mixed up with my other pieces. And the other ones I can use either this side of the paper or this side. I think I'm going to decide that once I have things cut and ready to assemble. So again, these are just 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. Okay. So on this card, you can actually add more mats to it, but it's already kind of a thick card. So I'm just going to go directly with the designer series paper onto the base of my card. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere these before I forget which ones go where. Better double check that just in case I got it turned around. Yep, it goes that way. Yeah. It's pretty forgiving paper, but if you don't get it quite right sometimes, if I don't get it quite right, sometimes it bothers me, so. Okay, so that's gonna go there. It's going to go there. Trying to see if I like it that way or this way. I think I like it better this way. Okay, so now I have to decide if I want to use these pieces there or those ones without the designs. I'm going to go with the pretty peacock. Sometimes it's nice to have a break in the design to just kind of give your eyes some rest when you're opening up your card. So, but other times it's nice just to have a continuous design. And if you were going to do that, if you wanted a continuous design, you could certainly put a panel here as well and just have these berries going all the way across. That's an option as well. So one of the things I like about this paper, I think I said before, is that you can use it all year round. And I actually have run out of thank you cards, so this is going to be a thank you card. And I am going to bring in the stamp set. and just add some greenery, I think, to the inside of my white piece, just to add some color there. So I usually leave my thank you notes blank inside just so that I can write a message, but I do like to put a little bit of a stamp or designer series paper or something on the white piece of cardstock just to add a little color to it. That'll work. I'll go ahead and adhere that to the center of my card now that I stamped it. Just like so. So by putting the little tabs from these pieces on the top of the base card, you cover up that seam that's created by those two outside pieces. Okay, so I've already die cut out my thank you and a mat, and I'm just going to add that to the center here. And again, you can be so creative with how you decorate this. So I had a larger mat piece here so that it would fit the rocking horse. So I wanted to use the rocking horse, so I used that as a guide as far as how large I cut this centerpiece. And then this one, kind of the same thing, I wanted to use this stamp, so I just used that as a gauge. And again, you can put this anywhere that you want. You can add your greetings and obviously some different embellishments. There's just so many different options with this card. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere my thank you to my mat. These dies, the dies I used for the thank you and the mat is from the Countryside Corners, and these are the dies that you get with it. These are really versatile dies, and then this is the stamp that comes with it if you buy the bundle. So you can just stamp one image and then cut all different size mats if you want. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere this together. Trying to make sure my sides are even. Looks good. And then I want to just glue this on one side of this card so that you can open it up. So I'm just basically going to look at pretty much the center point of this die and adhere that down. So I'm only putting glue or tape on one side of that die. And then I'm just going to center that like so. And you want to just make sure on the back that you don't have any excess glue that's going to glue that card shut. Okay, so I'm trying to decide what else I want to do. I feel like it needs something else, maybe just some embellishments with some gems. So let me see if I can find some. I have these. These are some older ones, but I really like them. They have so much sparkle to them. So usually like to use my take a pick tool, but it always seems to disappear when I'm looking for it. So I'm just going to spread these around like so. And there is that completed card. I hope you enjoyed that little tutorial. This is a card that I did during one of my Wednesday Zoom classes. You can find out all the information about those Zoom classes on my Facebook page at Melinda Pierce at facebook.com/Melinda's Rubber Room. Be happy to have you join us. Those are free classes, and I provide all the measurements for the cards ahead of time so that you can make them along with me. All right, I hope you enjoyed that, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.